Hello my family and welcome back to Ngafo's Updates. In today's video, I'm going to talk on the advantages and disadvantages of migrating to Dubai using a direct employment visa for blue collar or odd jobs. I will as well talk on the procedure followed before the granting of a residence permit to workers in Dubai.
Somebody's got you, rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye. I'm gonna rock you, rock-a-bye, baby, don't you cry. Rock-a-bye, no.
Rock-a-bye. I understand it's very satisfying to know that you already got a job waiting for you in Dubai before embarking on the trip. In a previous video, I dealt more with the tourist visa, but today I am going to shed more light on using an employment visa for a trip to Dubai rather than the frequently used tourist visa. Firstly, it is been normal to know that direct employment visa will most obviously be granted by an employer only to blue-collar workers if an agent or third party is involved. By blue-collar jobs, I am referring to taxi driving, security staff, local laborers, waiting staffs, that's waiters, waitresses, hosts and hostesses, nanny or housemates, and cleaners for commercial buildings as well as personal buildings. Only in rare cases will this employment type be granted directly to sales staff. The reason is because no employer will recruit a white-collar worker without a facial or at least video interview. But before I proceed, if you are here for the first time or new to the channel, this is Ngafo's Updates, a platform created with the motive of information dissemination to the public with the aim of letting my viewers adapt to the fast pace of technological advancement, especially in the financial world, and particularly with relation to the cryptocurrency markets. I also shall be providing tips and pieces of advice to individuals who might be interested in traveling to Dubai but lack such helpful information. If you are interested in being updated on the topics I just mentioned, kindly hit the subscribe button below to join the community and hit the notification bell in order to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I shall proceed to tell you the procedure observed before the granting of a residence permit or employment visa in Dubai. Any authentic recruitment process in Dubai must be initiated with at least a job offer letter signed and resubmitted by the applicant to the employer. This document is preceded by a proposed contract issued by the Labour Department of the government to be signed by both employer and employee and thumb-printed by the employee and resubmitted to the Labour Department of the government. With the approval of the Labour Department, the Immigration Department of the government can then issue an entry permit for new work to the employee to be used as a visa for entering Dubai. The government of Dubai facilitates the process of granting direct employment visas for job seekers outside its national territory by granting entry permit for new work to such workers to be used in entering the country before processing of their employment visas. So if you are traveling to Dubai for a direct employment, be it skilled or unskilled, blue or white collar jobs, then you must have in your possession an entry permit for new work as your entry visa. Upon arrival in the country, your employer shall proceed to processing all other required documents by law through some simple steps. First step is the medical examination in a government-designated testing center. If you fail the medical test, you will be immediately repatriated, thus bringing your employment to an end. On the other hand, if you are successful, then you shall proceed to the next step by providing your biometrics, that's your fingerprints, and passport-size photo to be used in the processing of your medical insurance cover as well as resident permits in the form of an Emirates ID. Last step shall be the issue of your employment visa sticker to be pasted in your passport. At this point, you should have both your insurance, your health insurance card and Emirates ID in your possession, and in some cases your passport with the sticker in it shall be handed back to you, but most companies will hold back your passport, which is illegal. When dealing with a sponsor for such an employment visa, the same pieces of advice in my previous video should be applied, which I shall repeat below. Both home-based as well as Dubai-based agents can still be contracted. A home-based agent in this scenario can be an individual or a business structure with links to sponsors and recruitment agencies based in Dubai. He collects the money and documents to forward to the Dubai-based sponsors or recruitment agencies. In this video, I shall still use the case study of a Cameroonian home-based sponsor, but this should very probably apply to other countries. Firstly, be careful never to wire money or transfer money to the sponsor through money transfer agencies such as Western Union, MoneyGram, Express Union, Express Exchange, or even mobile money. The reason for this rejection is simply because in an event of a scam, it's almost impossible to track a recipient from such a transaction, as not much personal information is required before collection of the money. But if you must transfer the money for the visa processing, then do so only through bank transfers. Ensure the home-based sponsor owns an account with either a bank or a microfinance institution or a finance house. This is because the bank or microfinance institution normally collects more personal information and roadmap addresses from the client before the creation of any account. In case of a scam, it's easier to track the thief from their bank account since bank transactions are recurrent, unlike wiring transactions which are one-off, implying clients visit their banks more often and perform continuous transactions with the same branch as compared to individuals collecting money from a money transfer agency and never returning to that same branch again. Excuse me. Lastly, I will recommend a direct meeting between you and the home-based sponsor. With this method, you will have a facial recognition of whom you will be entrusting your hard-earned cash with for the visa processing. Here, you will as well get the opportunity to demand signed receipts and agreement document from the recipient. Plus, you can request the agent's copy of identification documents for security reasons. Also, you might have the luxury of having a third-party witness you getting into an agreement with the sponsor. Similarly, if you decide to deal with a Dubai-based sponsor, then know that you will need a very trustworthy person. I strongly advise you to never go into any agreement with a Dubai-based sponsor who still maintains a tourist status in Dubai. The reason is simply because no law in Dubai shall be binding on their guests. Of course, a tourist is their guest. So in case you are scammed, the police will be of little or no help if the sponsor you contracted was on a tourist visa. To verify if the sponsor is not on a tourist visa, he must be in possession of a valid Emirates ID, that is a resident permit, which is issued by the government on behalf of an employer company to all workers in Dubai. So do well to demand a copy of this ID before making any payments. Also, if any Dubai-based sponsor is genuine, then he ought to have an agent based in your home country, or at least a family member back home to stand as a representative for a secure transaction. In the case where someone is available in your home country on behalf of the Dubai-based sponsor, kindly treat this individual as though you are dealing with a home-based agent, as I advised earlier in this very video. But if this Dubai-based sponsor has earned your trust, you may proceed to wire funds to him, but with the knowledge that you are undertaking a huge risk. From my perspective, the main advantage of a direct employment line is the stress relief if you had to personally do the job search in Dubai. But I have some disadvantages attached to this option. Firstly, and most importantly, by taking the direct employment blue-collar job, you will eliminate all possibilities and opportunities of getting a better job if you had personally done the job search in Dubai. This particularly holds for qualified individuals with certificates who might have had the opportunity to get a white-collar job as opposed to the currently contracted blue-collar job. The rumor of all certificates from your home country being useless is not 100% true, except if you can't back that certificate practically. Secondly, more than 90% of individuals taking such lines end up being scammed completely of their money, with no entry permit for new work ever being sent to them to travel. Worse still, half of the successful 10% are misled on the job types when they eventually arrive Dubai. For example, you might have agreed with the agent on a highly paid taxi driving job only to arrive as a cleaner in a hotel or a local laborer under the hot sun, with the sun that can literally melt one's common sense in Dubai. And of course, in such a situation, job satisfaction is far-fetched. Thirdly, money paid is non-refundable, especially if you didn't agree on this clause with the agent. So if you fail the medical examination while in Dubai, you eventually lost all your money paid, since you shall be repatriated. Lastly, there is a high probability of a tourist visa being edited to look like an entry permit for new work, since both documents are similar and issued in soft copy. Worse still, such entry permit for new work can't be easily verified through the online portals, as is the case with tourist visas. From the argument I just presented to you, I personally do not recommend the use of a direct employment line for blue-collar job placements in Dubai. I advise you get a 90-day tourist visa and get to Dubai and do your job search and be exposed to more options, be it blue-collar or white-collar jobs. Please let me leave this disclaimer stating that this discouragement is for blue-collar jobs arranged by agents and not skilled or white-collar jobs gotten from direct interview with Dubai-based companies. And it is my personal opinion and not a general fact, so no one is obliged to accept my opinion. Before I leave, I want you to always remember my advice on personal pocket allowance, which I said in the previous video. You should never travel abroad without sufficient money as pocket allowance. In the case of traveling to Dubai, I strongly recommend a minimum of 500,000 francs CFA as pocket allowance. That's approximately $1,000, which I admonish be converted to US dollars at any bank within the city, because airport currency exchange agents carry out the exchanges at extremely higher rates. This money shall help you in your accommodation, feeding, and transportation costs during your first month of your new job before you receive your first salary. I hope with this information I just shared, you will be able to make an informed decision on the visa type you will use if you intend to migrate to Dubai, especially for blue-collar job seekers. To assist my viewers as usual, I shall leave a link below to my blog page, GAFOS Updates, so you can have access to the written information I just presented in this video. Also, I shall leave a link to my Facebook page if anyone is interested or has personal questions. Unfortunately, since I don't recommend a direct employment before migrating to Dubai, as I have discouraged above, I cannot act as an agent or sponsor for those who might want to solicit my help, and neither can I recommend any other person to you. I don't want to be held responsible in case things go bad. Hope I was worth your time and the information I just shared was useful. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, kindly do so now by clicking the subscribe button below, and if you enjoyed the video and wish to view more from me, hit the notification bell below to be notified whenever I upload a new video. If the info was helpful to you, you can give me a thumbs up. And always remember to leave a comment to tell me what you think or ask me any other question if you still have doubts. Lastly and most importantly, share this video to your family and friends who might be in need. You can share it to other social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Imo, Twitter, or even Telegram, and any other you find yourself on Snapchat or whatsoever. Thanks for watching, and that will be all for today. You take care and see you next time.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie